I heard the messenger say, there is no verse in the Quran except that it has an apparent and hidden meaning. There is no letter from it except that there is an explanation, but no one knows its interpretation except Allah and those firmly rooted in the knowledge. Islam. This is Minister Saeed Al-Mahdi, and today is the 9th of Shaban, and I entitled this lecture, The Master Teacher. I'm going to jump right in and talk about Jannah, what it is and what it represents, because it has two meanings. There's the actual literal Jannah that's coming after you die and resurrect, but then there's also another kind of Jannah, another place, a position, right? Because you can't get Jannah in the Akhirah, in the next life, without having it in this life. You have to have the personality, right? What is the personality of Jannah? You're not a complainer. You're not a person who's stressed or depressed. You don't have paranormal or paranoid activity, right? You're not too happy. You're not too sad. You're balanced. You're content. You're humble. You're homeless, but you're not a bum. As a matter of fact, the average person, when they see a man of Jannah, won't even know he's homeless because he's so clean, right? He's blessed. He's disciplined, free from hunger, right? He's free. He's not the type of person who's obese. He doesn't have hunger pains, hunger defects. He's not struggling like that. Lust, greed, jealousy, racism don't exist. 3 times and 4 times blessed are the poor, who in true poverty shall serve God from the heart. For in this world are they destitute of worldly cares, and shall therefore be free of many sins. Right? This is Joshua, the son of Mary. We talking about Yeshua talking. See, you're homeless, but you're not a bum. It's because you really got Jannah. You're free from all that sin, all that nasty impediment, the things that make a man turn savage. Ain't that right? Greed seals your heart and suppresses the masculine energy. Allah says in 993, those who got money are content with those who sit behind. Allah has sealed up their heart, but they think differently. Because the person who got money, he think that he's a good person. He think that because he has it, that means he's successful. He think that these things, his money and his woman and his children, make him a good person. You got 2 million Muslims in the city of New York alone, but many are afraid to fight the Illuminati, the Dajjal, right? The Prophet said, the one eye. Don't nobody represent that one eye more than the Illuminati. So that is the end time prophecy, right? That is the prophecy of Muhammad. This is your enemy. So they play his monopoly and become like women. Because when you're sitting at home and you know your enemy is there, and you don't want to fight him, you become like a woman. There are many parts of the car functioning to keep the car running properly. However, these parts cannot function the car's operation without maintenance. So the driver is not really ready to drive the car until it's prepared. The fastest way to expose a hypocrite, kafir, or a pagan is to visibly see evil, know about the evil, but do nothing. Understand, people, doing nothing is something to Allah. The duty of a man in the call of duty is to fight when you see evil. You got these fake imams who run these masses in the city of New York and America. These celebrity Islamic figures like Siraj Wahhaj out of Brooklyn, New York, know about the evil, see the evil, and do nothing. They're content to sit at home like a woman. Ain't that right? But let's not forget, those who follow are not too long away. Because when Allah seals up your heart, Allah will not be able to enter. Allah will not enter. Allah does not want to enter, because that's where the energy comes through, the heart. Allah is closer to the man than his jugular vein. Allah says, the soul was conjoined with moral and immoral tendencies. Truly he succeeds that purifies it. I did a lecture called The Rules of the Game. It's a game. Your soul is a gift. And Allah determined it, fashioned it, proportioned it, and gave you the rules on how to master it. This is the master teacher. So you see, the fastest way to expose a hypocrite is just to just have an evil villain like the Dajjal. Have a monster. And then see that man not do nothing but get money, and sit at home like a woman. He's suddenly losing his manhood. Allah says in 988, those who believe struggle with their money and lives. Their whole persons are, they know the call of duty of man. When it comes down to justice, the prophet said, when you see evil, you change it with your hands, change it with your mouth.
From one page,
right? When it's time, Allah says they struggle with their money and their lives.
First and foremost, many have heard of them, but what is the Illuminati?
That's a very good question, because a lot of people in these kind of interviews really want to get deep, but no one asks the basic questions like that. Like, who are these people? What are these organizations? And who are these people proclaiming to be the illuminated ones? So when you say Illuminati, in most cases nowadays, you're talking about 13 bloodlines. You're talking about the people that established themselves in 1776, even prior and before that, even before then. But they call themselves holders of the light. There's different fractions of the Illuminati. We need to keep that in mind. There's different factions. So you're not talking about just one group of people. They're branched off into many different factions. So a lot of times, just the Illuminati, when people say the Illuminati, I think they're talking about the Colombian faction of the Illuminati. They consist of 13 bloodlines. So when you go through the bloodlines, right, so you don't see the Jay-Z's and Kanye West and Rihanna and them. They're not part of the bloodlines. They're not Illuminati. These people are not part of the Illuminati. They may be carrying out the agenda of the Illuminati, but they're not the Illuminati. So the Illuminati, like I said, they're 13 bloodlines. And a lot of times when you hear about people marrying their third and fourth cousin, these things are true among these people because they keep it in the family, so to speak, keep it in the bloodline.
Wow.
They don't want to know what the agenda is. But the agenda is for global domination. The agenda is to make us debt slaves. So when you talk about the Crown of Council of 13, all right, and then you get into the Committee of 300, which is the world's most richest and most powerful sub-families. Numerology is very big to them. Cult magic, white magic, rituals is very, very critical to them because now it trickles down. And then when you talk about the powerful sub-families, we have to talk about the organizations that they've created. We have to talk about the Trilateral Commission. We have to talk about the Council on Foreign Relations, which is the CFR, which is the Illuminati in America. You have to talk about the, like off the top of my head, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, Club of Rome, Bilderberg Group, pardon me. And then you have to put certain institutions in place to carry out the agenda. You have to put in place the UN, which is the United Nations. That particular land was donated by one of the 13 bloodlines, Rockefellers. You have to put in place the roundtable groups, the think tanks. You have to control people. You have to control the finance, the whole economic structure. You have to control the World Bank. You have to set up banks, but you have to control the World Bank. You have to control international banks. You have to control the International Monetary Fund. You have to control the World Bank. You have to control the IRS. You have to control all the natural resources. You have to control the money, the banks, the oil, gas. So you have to control Shell, BP, Citgo, Chevron. You have to control MasterCard, Visa, Discovery. You understand what I'm saying? In order to control the religions. governments, the education system. You got to control the media. And this is large. So people call me saying, well, yo, what is the Illuminati? And they want it in a nutshell. And you can't do this without studying.
Yeah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Professor Griff for his bravery. Because this is what the call of duty calls man to do, to fight. And the prophet said, you will know you are living in the last day when you see the one-eyed, the Dajjal. These are Gog and Magog. This is their children, the 13 bloodlines, right? And I did a whole lecture on that. This is actually prophecy, y'all. This is end time, last day revelation, and I'm the Mahdi. Those who believe fight with the money in their lives. You see, when you don't stand up, I'm talking about these imams and these celebrity figure Muslims, Mufti Minik, okay? Yusuf Estates. All these big Sunni people who know that the Illuminati is indeed the motherfucking Dajjal's clan. When they sit at home like women, they become cowards because they scared, and then that invokes the hypocrisy. Remember, your heart is sealed. You ain't got no feeling no more, because Allah is feeling energy. Energy feeling. That's what Allah is. Energy, feeling energy. You become a phony now. You can be bought with money now.
Not at all.
You can't.
Yeah.
So by the time it trickles down to controlling the vast majority of billions of people by controlling the weather with HAARP and spreading chemtrails and this kind of thing, putting fluoride in the water, making everyone debt slaves. You have to look at the entire structure and what they control. So to say 13 families, and then we're what? We're 29 minutes into this, and we still haven't mentioned all of the families. See, these are basic things that we need to know that they're the Rothschilds, the Astors, the Bundys, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, I believe, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis, Rockefeller, Disney, Russell, the Van Dunn family, Maravigian family, and the Reynolds family.
Wow.
Now, I didn't say McDonald's one time, but McDonald's is associated with the Illuminati. Then we have to talk about the countries that they operate in: America, England, Israel, Australia, China, Japan. Then we have to talk about the Trilateral Commission. We have to talk about the financial groups, research institutions, and other secret societies: Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, Knights of Malta, the P2 Lodge. We have to talk about what they own and control. They control this madness that you see on Fox. He's having these discussions, and you scratch your head like, what the hell are they talking about? They control all the politics. Yeah. They control government leaders and the Supreme Court and the Electoral College, which elects the President of the United States. They control intelligence agencies, CIA, NSA, FBI, KGB, the Mossad, Homeland Security. They control religions. They concocted this thing called Christianity. Then they control it by running these certain churches and these organizations through the National Council of Churches, the World Council of Churches. And they control these Christian fundamentalists, the Jimmy Swaggarts and the rest of these characters. They control the entire educational system, running it through UNESCO and the World Union and the World Federalist Association. So they control corporations and multinational corporations, banks, which support the entire New World agenda. So when you talk about the Carlyle Group, when you talk about the Rand Corporation, Walmart, Ford Motors, Chrysler, ITT, Johnson & Johnson, so the people that you make the toilets, you should wipe your behind, them too. CBS, all the alphabet boys, CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS, CNN, MTV, BET, all the magazines.
All the alphabet.
Eventually, the man is going to become so phony that his wife is going to notice he's a pussy. Like, that's why women are getting bored now. They want to work like men. Because it's like your kids are weak, your kids have no vision, your kids have no focus. Well, I mean, what's the purpose of being a man if you're not fighting injustice? The woman will eventually realize that and see she's with a pussy, a coward. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna want to be with that no more. See what I'm saying? Cosmic law, 8 karma, is a part of Moorish law. Allah says, 982, let them laugh a little and cry later. Jaza bim yaksub. It's the reaction for your action. The reaction for your action. This is the reason why Allah says famine, fear, starvation, poverty, all these things are means to test your manhood, son. So Allah had to tell Muhammad, like, don't trip. Don't be impressed over their money and children. Because look, the cosmic law is going to destroy their money and children. Because look, eventually the righteous will rise up and then they gonna get all they woman. Because they woman gonna be like, yo, those are men. They gonna lose their woman, son.
What ritual sacrifice means to the Illuminati, as well as, like I said, give an example, like, have you seen it go on at any, music award shows or that type of thing?
First of all, no, not at all. They don't operate that way. The Illuminati is a secret society. There are many different secret societies under the Illuminati. There's different rituals that go on in different secret societies. All of them are not the same. The ritual that may go on in the Knights of Malta may not go on in the Skull and Bones. It may not go on the Boule. What I pointed out that these things are going on simply because I started to see it. When you start to see the influx of bisexuality, homosexuality in a genre of music called hip-hop, and hip-hop came out being very masculine, you tend to ask the question, where did this come from? Right. The average hip-hop was hard.
Yeah.
Thrived on being hard. Matter of fact, we tried to be the hardest. Big cats now wearing women's clothes and carrying man purses and earrings and all this kind of cute little stuff. It's like, where is this coming from? What agenda is this? So when I pointed it out at first, we looked to the rituals and the initiation rituals inside of different secret societies, and we tried to pinpoint why they're going through this homosexual ritual in hip-hop. And this was a discovery that the Illuminati have infiltrated hip-hop and set up shop in hip-hop like they did the Masons. One guy called me and said, my dad is a Mason and my uncle is a Mason. Are they evil? No, they're not evil. Drunk-ass Uncle Leroy? No, he ain't evil. He probably knows nothing about what we're talking about. Every Mason is not part of the Illuminati.
Exactly.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand it. But to answer your question directly, is there a human sacrifice going on? Is there a blood sacrifice going on? Yes, there is. Are people sacrificing members of families unbeknownst to them? Yes, they are.
There are no words without action. There are no words or action without intention. And there are no words, action, and intentions without knowledge. I guarantee you, most of these imams at the top have participated in some of these sacrifices. So I call all those who want to get free. Take the test. Arrogance, envy, greed, false hope, conceit, stinginess, right? And laziness is what's killing you, man, from being a man. Don't be homo like hip-hop today. But be hard against the kafir. You got to get your gifts, man. It's a struggle. And understand, those who sit at home They actually think different about themselves. So that means that you have to put yourself on a pedestal and not Allah. And Allah is God. Allah's supposed to be on the pedestal. So when you are afraid to be a man in the call of duty to fight against this beast right here, then doing nothing is actually something, right? You have now just committed shirk. Your doing nothing has just committed shirk. And what does Allah say about that? Your humanity is lost. Saeed is gone. Ayah.